So Brad, trying to keep up with everybody else on YouTube, just with reviews and stuff. I mean, it's about as pointless as the Pro Bowl.
What's the Pro Bowl?
Exactly. Have you seen clips of the Pro Bowl? They're not even trying.
Oh, they don't.
It's so stupid. Yeah. It's the dumbest thing anymore. And it's a shame. But I get it.
It used to be so cool, too.
But why do you want to get hurt? That's the idea, going into the off-season. So there's no point in even having it.
What they need to do is have the Pro Bowl after the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Then it's just like...
We've solved world hunger, man. Like,
then it's just an exhibition game. You know, just to have all the best teams come together and all the best players. That would be fun.
The Book of Boba Fett. Chapter 6.
Yes.
Alright, so, let's just go right into it. Luke is back.
This episode was literally like... This YouTube video is probably going to be called All Our Star Wars Dreams Come True.
I mean...
Let's face it.
I mean, and I guess you could argue... This actually segues really well. You could argue that this entire episode was that dreaded word, fan service. Now, what is... Let me ask you this. What is fan service, one? Number two, why is it a bad thing? And number three, I guess, can there be such thing as bad fan service?
Okay, well, fan service, it's when you go against the idea of we're going to do something entirely new and original and instead go, what do the fans want most?
So literally giving the people that are paying for this what they want?
Right.
Well, how is this bad?
It's not.
Okay.
The only way it gets bad...
Give me a bad example, yeah.
A bad example, as much as I still enjoy the movie, bringing the Emperor back.
Well, that was desperation.
Yes. Where they went, we don't know what else to do, so let's just give them something that fanboys are going to be like, oh, cool.
We ruined everything already, Ryan did, and then so JJ comes back and goes, what can I hack now? What do I do?
Like, honestly... Examples of bad fan service are few and far between, in my opinion.
I have one, actually.
Go for it.
Okay, so Rogue One. In Rogue One, not the movie, but when they're on Jeddah, and they're walking the streets of Jeddah, and then all of a sudden they come up to, what are you pushing me for?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like, why is that guy there?
That wasn't bad for me, though. That was kind of like,
hey, guy. But then I went, hey... Why?
Okay.
But I mean, I guess even then...
But again, everybody's going to have different opinions on it. Did it detract from the movie for you?
Absolutely not.
It added to the movie for me, so...
So there you go. So with that out of the way, I think it's kind of an important... It is an important conversation in fandom, because everybody is like, oh, this is just fan service. And then we're like, yeah, they're giving us what we want. We want to watch this show.
Yeah, the basic definition of fan service is giving the fans what they want.
So,
isn't that the point of what you're doing?
Exactly. Exactly. So, some of this was spoiled for me. You know, I'm just throwing it all out there. CADE BANE, live action CADE BANE, was spoiled for me, and you jerks on YouTube. So I go on YouTube. Maybe this is all my fault. I just should have avoided YouTube. And it was, what fans thought as soon as they saw CADE BANE, and I went. And then I was Cobb Vanth coming back was also spoiled for me because it was like that scene at the end. But what was not spoiled for me was, now, we did hear, I'm going to go visit Grogu. So you're kind of like, okay, he's gonna go where Luke is. Maybe we'll get Luke. Maybe we won't. Will we? We see Grogu. No, we get to the planet. R2. We see weird spider things.
Which... Fun thing that I found, as far as character development goes, you have Mando, Din Djarin,
which I was saying the D.
It's all good, man.
Like an idiot.
It's all good. Mando shows up and he sees R2 and he goes, "Hello, friend."
We do you.
When you have in the very first episode of Mando, no droids. This.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he hated. Remember, that was one of his things. He had a huge distrust for droids.
He did hate droids because the Clone Wars. So the battle droids are the ones that screwed everything up, destroyed his life.
And so now he's got to, hey, hello, friend, to...
That's a great observation. No, that went right over my head.
And that was also a very, at least I think it was, a very, very subtle throwback to Episode 4. The, hello there, little friend.
Yeah, that was great. So are we going to see Luke? And then, is this a bench? He sits down on the bench. And then we see Grogu. Camera pans. There he is. There's Luke.
It was so...
But there was no pomp and circumstance. It wasn't... It didn't feel like they were trying. It was an event when he showed up at the end of The Mandalorian Season 2 and saved the day. And you're like, that was the scene we didn't know we wanted. That's the Luke we want. Blah, blah, blah. And then he was just there. And then he kept being there. And he wasn't going away, and I'm like, "Whoa, they're just...
This is great,
He's here, like, the entire time." And the CGI was...
so good!
Way better.
I gotta say, looking back at Rogue One, Tarkin's CGI, now that it's been years later, you can see the...
A little bit. I still think it's great, because they hit it in
shadow. It's still really good.
Yeah.
But I had the same reaction to seeing Luke in this one that I did to seeing Tarkin in that one.
Yeah,
where you and I both were like,
"Well, you and me, we were in the theater watching it, and we're just like,
whoa!"
I thought for a brief second, I'm like, was that like a brother we don't know about?
Right.
Like, it was really bizarre. It was really weird
because we knew that we were going to have like even before we went into it, I called it like because we knew Tarkin was going to be in it. We were like, we're going to see his reflection in a window or something.
Yeah,
like, and then they did that.
But then
they fake you out, and it was this big, and then the dramatic turn. You're like, oh man!
What might have made it perfect, that I've said before, is that if Tarkin was just a transmission the entire time, you were just seeing him. It's a transmission, right? It's the blue, the hologram.
Yeah,
that's a hologram rather, because the CGI. And his face and everything was pretty darn good, and I would say still is, that it works because it's kind of jumbly because it's a hologram.
It was good enough that it was not Uncanny Valley for me.
For me too, yeah. I don't think it took away. Yeah. But anyway, so Luke was there, and it was great because it was a tribute to samurai films, and even like Hong Kong, like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, Hong Kong martial arts Chinese films. They're running around the bamboo, climbing up the bamboo and stuff. That was great.
Fun fact about Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, actually. Oh. I'm going to break away.
Go ahead.
When I was a kid, from like 6 years old onward to like maybe 12 or 14 or so, I had a poster of Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon in my room that I got from karate, where your brother and Will.
You saw that movie though, right?
That is a movie I have never once seen in my entire life.
Well. It's on DVD right there.
But how funny is that I had a poster in my room for years. I got it from karate. Had it in my room, and then one day I was sitting there and I was just
karate?
Oh yeah. Huh. I got up to green belt, I think.
Oh, I don't think you ever talked about this before.
Yeah, I can kick Will's ass.
He's
I'll get punched in the neck.
So that was That's funny.
Trying to like segue. Okay, so
all right. So
back to the mentor-student thing.
And then they did the whole it's like poetry, so they rhyme thing. Mm-hmm. Now he still has the little green guy in his back, but now he's teaching him. So we come full circle, and it was great. And this
instead of lifting rocks, they're lifting frogs.
They're lifting frogs,
which is great.
He got a new gi. It's just a straight up black gi. It's not the tunics. Oh, I touched my microphone there. Ooh. It's not the
You idiot!
It's just touched my microphone. It's not the two tunics with the really cool, what would you call that? Like the buttons come down. What kind of clothing is that? What he's wearing there? Where it's the buttons up the side and it kind of comes down.
It's a bib shirt.
Bib shirt.
It's a bib shirt.
Yeah, he had a bib shirt on.
He had a bib shirt with the tabards.
Yeah.
No tabards, no bib shirt.
I thought these were tunics.
Tabard.
The whole thing is a tunic, I guess.
The whole thing's a tunic.
Okay. Clothing expert.
You idiot.
Did it feel weird that Luke is there, but he's not really there? Yeah.
They did it so well, it felt like he was there.
Okay.
I know that Mark Hamill had a big hand in it. I did find out, actually, the voice was a computer program.
Okay, so he did do... I had my suspicions. So that he did do the dialogue, but then they messed with it.
Mm-hmm. They put it through a program where basically they took all of his dialogue from 4, 5, and 6, and then all of his dialogue from the audiobooks.
Ooh.
And he did a few other audiobooks. He did some radio plays.
Oh, wow. They just went searching and created a database.
And they created this this program. It has a name. I can't remember what it is. But yeah, and they put it through, and that's what they came out with. And by God, it sounded like Luke.
Which is interesting that, so maybe the dialogue now had to be written only after they knew their alphabet. Meaning the
Very possible,
meaning the
yeah.
new alphabet. Because some of it felt kind of like, why did you write it like that?
Yeah, it said it in kind of a weird way.
Yeah, because maybe that's only the words that they had, more or less. So
Maybe.
So Mark Hamill didn't do any dialogue.
I believe he did the dialogue, but they messed with it.
But they messed with
program.
it and made it match his voice from those words that they collected.
Could be. Use his cadence and everything. Yeah, very well could be.
No, it really
I don't know the specifics. That's all that I heard. And
Well,
I
yeah,
don't even know for 100%
We might be
that's true.
complete BSing right now. I don't know. But that, to me, makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can do that visually. That's what they do with face replacement. That's what they do with... there's another name for the face replacement now.
Masking?
Yeah, but it's...
De-aging?
Yeah, but there's even another word for it. So Luke being in it was still surprising, and then Ahsoka, she's there, and because he gets up and does the thing, and I was like, and I went, oh, she's here too, and you got all this stuff that you expected from Mandalorian season 3, and you got it now, and then you got the scene you didn't know you wanted with Ahsoka and Luke.
Oh my gosh, I actually teared up. It was...
Yeah, she's I'm an old friend of the family, and you're like, yeah.
And then when she says to him, "You're so much like your father," I was like,
And he does that like,
mm-hmm. Because that was like
you again.
right. It was
Maybe.
it was so good. And that scene they did really well too.
Yeah, no, it was great.
Like, all of it was done so well. One thing that they did that was problematic that was brought up was the fact that Luke has fallen right back into the same problem that all the other Jedi have, where it's, they all go, only the Sith deal in absolutes, and then they go, you can only choose one. You can't have friends, or you can have a sword. And, like, it's the problematic part of the Jedi mentality that we've always talked about. You gotta be a friggin' monk.
Yeah, and I was actually kind of surprised that surprised me. He says, Jedi give up all attachments and stuff, and I was like, oh, he's keeping that? I thought he was... But when did he learn that? Well, he must have learned it in the 5 years. This is 5 years after Return of the Jedi. So he's been traveling around, I guess, during this time collecting information and holocrons and all these things. At least that's what I read or whatever. And I don't know if that's from the new novels or not, and I don't care about any of that. But, yeah, ultimately, this is Luke, and he... obviously Grogu is going to pick the Mandalorian. They already have his bubble in the Starfighter.
Yeah.
It's all but been shown. But, so yeah, Boba. What's he doing during this whole episode?
Making a cameo.
He's standing around like he always did. And you know what? I didn't really notice.
He was in this one.
He was in this one.
For a whole 2 minutes.
Look, like I've been saying,
He says like 5 words.
This whole series has been a freaking ride, and then I also said they're going to cross over. I didn't know it was going to be the next episode.
Right.
Where everybody is there. But I think they instead of naming it like Mandalorian Season 1, Season 2, The Book of Boba Fett, just call it like Tales of the Mandalorian or Star Wars Tales. And then you just have this continuing story in the
Legends of
Mandalore.
Yeah.
In the Filoniverse, basically. Because this is Filoni and Jon Favreau. Mm-hmm. The people doing Andor... The people that are doing the Obi-Wan series, they're all separate. They're not, creatively, they're their own thing. And so it'll be interesting to see how they do it. But yeah, this was a great freaking episode. Oh, yeah, tell us about the Western stuff.
Oh, yeah, the whole end, the whole last act of the thing.
The beginning and the end, really.
The beginning and the end, yeah. We have Mando rolling into town and Mos. What is it, Mos?
Well, that was Mos Polo.
Mos. It's not Polo. It's Mos.
Well, it's Freedom Town now. Anyway.
Yeah, whatever.
So who cares?
Freedom Town.
We renamed it. Freedom Town now.
But yeah, you get to come into this. You know, he comes into town and we get deputy douchebag come out like, yeah, you can't park there. It's like, no, I'm a friend. I'm
right.
Yeah, you can't park there. I'm telling you. And then like, why don't you shut up and get inside? And I'll handle this.
Well, he even that was. Okay, so this show works when it's doing the Western thing. But Star Wars can do all of that, though. It can be a film noir, it can be a Western, it can be a gangster thing, but the gangster stuff doesn't really work that much, and maybe it's because we're on the wrong planet. We're on Tatooine.
If this was like Coruscant,
it would work
really good.
That's like, or Nal Hutta, where the Hutts are.
Oh, dude, yeah.
That's gangster stuff. But that's like the thing about Solo. Like it's lit like a film noir. It's shot like a Western. Has action like a pirate movie. You can do all of that, but like, you know, I don't know. So I guess it works. The Western stuff really works. Is what I was getting at. The gangster.
Well, like I've
stuff,
said, I mean, Star Wars from the start has always been a pirate Western with space wizards. So
based on those serials and like it's based on Seven Samurai and all that kind of jazz and.
But like the Western stuff, they really drove it home. Mm-hmm. Like it's not just like, oh, there's a gunslinger type cowboy like character, like Han Solo always was. Right. This is they've gone full.
Oh yeah, he was always straight up cowboy.
Yeah, they've gone full Western with Mando, and now Cobb Vanth, having a showdown with CADE BANE coming into town, and they even did the man in the dark big hat. Walking into town in a mirage, like, well, it was done beautifully. Yeah, the wind chimes. Yeah, winds are changing. Something bad.
Kind of looks over, what is that? A stranger cometh from the desert. Is what it's called, right?
Stranger comes from the desert or something like that.
Stranger from the desert comes, I think.
Something
like that. But that was great. That was all great. I cared almost more about that than, oddly enough, than the Luke stuff.
Oh, happening. I can't wait. This episode just went from good to great, and it just kept getting better.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a little rocky, but starting with episode 4, and then 5, and then now, I mean, it just gets better and better and better, and the finale, we could have a Rancor, potentially. We could have CADE BANE and Boba Fett. They have unfinished business, because in the Clone Wars, Boba Fett's a kid, and CADE BANE, some of those episodes kind of takes him under his wing, kind of. Mm. And actually, when CADE BANE said, he's a cold-blooded killer that worked for the Empire. Oh, where's that show? That's the show everyone wanted.
Yeah.
See, that's the show everyone wanted. This comic right here is an enemy of the Empire. That Boba Fett's literally got a guy up here like this, and another one is biting his ankle. Have you seen that yet?
No.
Yeah, like that was... I haven't read the comic yet, but that's what everyone wanted. Well, Tamara Morrison is older. It's the time period, so you're getting we're getting the turn a new leaf one version of it, and for the most part it works. But yeah, I think you'd have to hire a different actor to go back to Empire days, and maybe they will.
Might be able to have him do the voice still.
I don't see why not. I mean, the voice is fine. The voice still works. Have him go back and work for all the people that he hates now and stuff. We're seeing the end of his story. I know we're kind of really hopping around here, but Yeah. All right, so let's name. We could wrap it up like this. Do you want to do 3 favorite things and then 3 things you hated, if that's even possible?
All right. Yeah, I started last time. You go ahead this time.
All right. Well, one of the things I loved was about this episode was Luke. Obviously, Luke was in it. He did the training scene we should have gotten with Rey and all this kind of stuff. Well, we got it here. The second thing I liked was the Western stuff we just talked about. CADE BANE showing. I did not expect that. Doing the whole Western thing, the shootout, that was great. There was a lot of tension there. And he just totally demolishes the newcomer.
And if you notice, Cobb Vanth, he's not... I'm guessing he's not dead. He got winged in the shoulder. He purposely shot him in the shoulder.
Yeah.
And then the deputy, he just turned him into friggin' Swiss cheese.
Yeah, it was, here's your warning, and he's dead. So how do you like that? Oh, and then they totally pulled the other third thing I really liked. They totally did the gangster thing, the mafia thing, and they blew up the cantina.
Oh yeah, totally, yeah.
Yeah, that was great. They're like, oh, you forgot your cantina or thing, your holder. Boom, and I was like, yes, there we go. There's your mafia stuff.
And the whole time it's so tense because as soon as he says that, you could see in her face, the Twilight Lady, she's just like,
oh yeah, she's like, oh no.
Yep.
3 things I didn't like. Well, that Cobb didn't die. And that's only because he's a character we care about. Him dying up the stakes.
I bet you he dies in the next episode.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be great, because instead they're bringing in a guy no one knows or cares. We've never seen before. He's new here. So he can die.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, take the bull by the horns or whatever and kill people we care about,
Let me counter you there. I can understand why they did that. They needed to give Cobb his dramatic death, if he's even going to die. He might be just in a sling for the next episode and join the merry band, which I'm okay with that as well.
Yeah, more.
But they also needed to show that CADE BANE is just a bastard.
Well, and a badass.
Yes. And they needed to show that, so they were like, okay, let's throw in this character that nobody cares about that we can absolutely eviscerate.
Like literal cannon fodder.
Yeah, where he just literally, and he's like, I even love that he's like walking towards him too.
Oh yeah, he just turned right over. And that guy was like, ah.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. Give me the
violence.
We're just like, oh my god, yes. Alright,
so
that makes sense.
the only thing you don't like, or?
Well, the annoying droid lady wasn't in it, so I can't really...
You can't rag on her this time.
Can't rag on that. I'm really struggling for something I don't like. Well, I guess I love this show, but where's
Boba?
Yeah, come on. It's what I was talking about. Where's this? Because that would be insane. But well, we're probably not going to get that, but that's okay. Luke showing up was great, but it felt a little bit
shoehorned in.
Unimportant. Not really shoehorned. I mean, we knew that was going to come.
Didn't have the gravitas that you thought it would.
Yeah, I didn't, but I guess that's just bound to happen.
Ahsoka had more gravitas than Luke did.
And maybe that's because she's still a human. I mean, Luke is a compilation. I mean, he's a Frankenstein of a live actor on set with all this crap on his face. The CGI face, and then all that stuff we talked about with the voice. I mean, Luke was still there, or Mark Hamill was still there.
Yeah.
Like he was there on set for season 2 and stuff.
It still felt like Luke.
It was not. It was
and,
really...
And the training scene was like, that was great.
Oh, that was great.
That was the coolest, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just being nitpicky. But, no, it's a really, really good show. And, and actually, I hope Grogu does... We know he's going to pick the Mando thing, and maybe that's Luke's out. Now we don't have to worry about Luke showing up or coming in and out of these shows anymore. And honestly, not seeing him anymore would be good for everything else. Not because I don't like Luke, but because, it does kind of take away, I guess, from everybody else because he's so cool. Like, he's the guy.
Yeah. That this feels more Star Wars than even the prequels for me, because it's...
Oh, yeah.
It's got the original vibe. It's where they're not even trying to hide the whole fact that this is a Western or this episode is a samurai movie or stuff like that. It's...
Yeah, literally bringing the influences to the forefront.
And it's not a lot of people walking around a green screen set.
Yeah.
I just walked through a wall.
Oh, yeah, you walked through a wall just now, the green screen sets of the prequels. But those are my 3 things. What are your 3 things that you hated? Another one to 3 things you loved. You don't have to dislike anything.
Things I'm going to dig. I'm going to actually find 3 things here. First, the one thing that I felt was a little ham-fisted and a little bit... Whoa. The one thing that did feel a little shoehorned in was, here's the lightsaber for you, Grogu.
Yeah,
and it was Yoda's lightsaber.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Where did he get it? Was it in his hut, maybe?
Well, Star Wars recently has had a history of just lightsabers showing up.
Well, but you can logically make the conclusion that, well, he was in Luke's hut on Dagobah, or I'm sorry, Yoda's hut on Dagobah. He just took it. The end. And I would totally buy that.
Didn't Yoda lose it in Coruscant when he was fighting Palpatine?
Did he?
Yeah. Oh, getting a phone call. Guarantee it's my wife. Hello. Didn't want to ruin that. Did you know we have a Patreon? What a great story when you can tell people how you got deaf in that year.
Yeah.
But no, we have a Patreon. Give us money.
I mean, you can get a T-shirt.
Yeah, we have
right
a
here.
T-shirt. The Plague is a Fat.
Plague is a Fat. There's a couple different tiers. It's donations. The second tier anyway. You get your name at the end of every video at the end of the credits that you've donated. We really appreciate all of our current patrons.
Yes, absolutely.
Patrons.
Patrons. Yep.
And we appreciate anything you can give us. If you can't give us anything for production value or whatever, that's fine.
All jokes aside, we know what it's like to not have a ton of money, so you can't contribute. You know, we don't want anybody to go in the poorhouse on our account, but you know, if you can spare a few bucks or a few pennies, throw them our way.
Helps us buy microphones.
Helps us buy microphones. A webcam for me for starting up my channel eventually.
Music too. I mean,
music.
There's a lot of sites that you can subscribe to.
When you're low tier like we are, trying to find royalty free stuff,
it's difficult.
It's difficult, and once you find it, you go through it real fast, and then you end up reusing the good stuff because some of the stuff is kind of dorky. But
anyway, so check out the Patreon and see you in the next video.
All right, now back to us talking about Boba Fett. The only other thing that I can think of that I don't like, and this isn't even in the episode itself, this is the quote-unquote fallout from it. The fanboys. You get the toxic fanboys that have to ruin everything.
Yeah, they're not going to please everybody.
Which the same ones that bitched about the sequel trilogy, which admittedly has not aged well, but we liked well enough when it came out. And they're just the people who would not shut up about the day Star Wars died.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's definitely the people that's all they want to do.
They just got to find negatives about everything. And then the finale of Mando Season 2. With Luke, we were over the freaking moon with Luke.
That was great.
And then we were talking about the CGI, and we were like, it was a little plasticky, but still, that was a really cool attempt. People just like, it was comical at best.
Still bitter.
People who are like, it honestly, it ruined Star Wars for me. It was comical at best. I've seen video games with blah, 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 blah. It's like, okay, yeah, all right. So wasn't it great other than that? So these people are now bitching about Cad Bane.
Okay.
He's the wrong shade of blue, and his mouth is in the wrong spot, which has spawned some people to have fun and redo it.
Yeah, there is a lot of funny videos.
Which they look great, and they look just like the Clone Wars.
They did it the same day. It's insane.
It's great. It's fun. These people need to be hired by the big AAA companies. Just think how fast they'd be able to churn these freaking shows out.
Yeah, I mean, there were people that even redid Luke at the time.
Yeah.
It didn't really look all that much better, but it had its own... It's just fun. Whatever.
But yeah, people just I remember seeing the one guy, and again, it's people who just want the attention.
Yeah.
And here I am giving them the attention on YouTube.
It's all their channels.
But it's like people he's the wrong shade of blue, and his mouth is in the wrong position, and I didn't like the fact that they changed his voice back from being metallic-y and blah, 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 which I know that you said...
I did prefer the... I'm Cad. I'm Cad Bane, man.
Did it detract from it that they didn't have that?
No, but it was anytime you make the jump from a 3D space into real life, it's gonna be weird.
Yeah,
but here's the thing: it's a style choice. So Ahsoka in the 3D in the Clone Wars, huge, antlers, I guess, really, or the
horns,
the horns, yeah. And then in the film, real life. Russo Dawson, it's small. Probably because practically you can't lug this all around.
Rosario Dawson.
What did I say? Russo Dawson? I said that completely wrong. I apologize. She's a wonderful actress. She's in Daredevil. She's fantastic. She's in Sin City. She's fantastic.
She did amazing as Ahsoka.
She is Ahsoka. That's wonderful casting. It's fantastic.
Damn, I had my skepticism because I've always liked her as an actress, but I was like, I can't really see her as Ahsoka, but she did. She's perfect as an older, more mature Ahsoka.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And
She's got it down pat.
Yeah, and it makes sense timeline wise. Her age, I think she's in her 40s. That makes sense because
40s, yeah.
30 years later, when you get to episode 7, she would be in her 70s, and then we all assume she died before then because she shows up as a voice in episode 9.
Yeah,
and whatever. The sequel trilogy is just
a mess.
It's a mess. It's a mess. There's so many things that I don't want to talk about because they've already been talked about. Whatever.
But of all the things
that
people can bitch about, he's the wrong shade of blue.
He's the wrong shade.
They took a character that had only ever been shown as a cartoon, and they brought him flawlessly into freaking live action, and it was so good. These people have nothing better to do. Like, use that.
It's the wrong shade.
Yeah, he's the wrong shade of blue. And then you gotta have the people
His eyes were better.
Right?
He was more menacing. He was angry the whole time. It was great.
I always worry that you and I are like super nerds.
Well, we just understand practicality.
Right, but
you can't
let me get to my point here, because this is actually an alternate point.
Okay.
Because then you get the people who really prove to me that we're not as nerdy as some people.
No, we're not.
I've always, like, growing up in the area that we grew up in school, I was always one of the super, super nerds. Yeah. So I always grew up with that. I ain't nothing, man. The people coming out there, he's the wrong shade of blue and his mouth is in the wrong position. And then people are coming on defending it. Well, his race, when they age, their skin lightens and he's a lot older now. So it's like...
Yeah, see that? No, you're right. That is a level of nerd that is...
Which I applaud, because that's dedication to knowledge right there.
Yeah,
if that's your thing,
that's
cool. But I was like... All right.
How? Well, that's the thing is that they'll come up with stuff that I don't look at.
Yeah, you don't need to defend yourself to the trolls.
No, you don't need to, exactly, and you don't need to. And that's the thing too is that when you have a brand, and your whole brand is built around this sucks or whatever, no matter what it is, that's just what it's going to be. In private, they might even enjoy it, but it doesn't. And again, people have. You can go through the whole thing about points you might have that this character wouldn't do this. This episode sucked. Why did they bring Emperor Black? Blah, blah, blah.
Rage over nitpicky stuff.
Yeah, but...
Kills fandoms.
Exactly. When you're just... That... why are we even talking about this?
Right.
Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? He's the wrong shade of blue. So what? I think blue is blue. He's in the desert.
They got the same voice actor.
He got a suntan, whatever.
Yeah, he bleached a little bit of sun. Bleached it.
They did get the same voice actor.
Which is great. And he sounded good. He sounded cool. He was a badass.
They got a badass stuntman. The actor who actually plays CADE BANE, he didn't physically be there. They got a stuntman who's done some notable stuff. I can't remember what it is.
He just was so menacing in his presence. It
was
so
great.
Good.
And I think that was even animatronic.
And I loved the face down and then come up to show the eyes like that. That was just straight Western.
Oh! Which we saw some Order 66 stuff.
Oh, yeah.
That was great.
Yeah.
And
dramatic and traumatizing. It was...
Let me help you remember. So, who saved Grogu? Who got him out of the temple? That's actually a decent mystery I care about.
Tom Selleck. I hope we never get another Star Wars movie.
I could care less. I
hope it's all TV shows because the nice little 30-minute to 1 hour slots. It gives you time to do a little bit of planet hopping. You get your fun little episode.
That was the other thing too, which I complained about, like the first 4 episodes. I think, like, where's the planet hopping? Mm-hmm. Well, that's what they've been doing, man. Mando's going all over the place. That's what Star Wars is. The planet hopping, the action, the adventure, the lore. You got Luke doing the training thing. I mean, it was all there, encapsulated in like 47 minutes.
I cannot wait for Wednesday. And it's got to end with, Boba Fett standing over CADE BANE. And he's just, go on, do it. Pull the trigger, show him that you're a cold-hearted killer. And he's just... changed. Spent some time with the Sand People. I'm not like that. But then it's he's like, I'm gonna let you live, and goes to walk away, and it's just, and he goes to grab a gun and then just turns around and he just blows his head off.
Okay, yeah, that'd be great.
That would be such a good end for him.
Hey, if you didn't know by now, we have another channel called the Garke House Productions, and we got like a plague doctor over there. We got like a general at a time.
1940s
reporter.
Lots of coffee.
There's lots of coffee, lots of monster hunting going on.
Lots of Bigfoots.
New episodes coming in the spring,
yep.
So keep an eye out for that. There's new reviews on here whenever we're able to do it.
You've got your channel started?
I got my channel, Film Slate Films.
Redundant in the best way possible.
Yes.
And my channel, the Distinguished Big Stinky, will be...
what do you do on that channel?
It's going to be a gaming channel. Lots of clips from Twitch streaming and stuff. Just playing games. I'm rotting my brain every night playing Halo and Minecraft anyway. Might as well try and make some money off it.
And then on my channel, it's just going to be... It's mostly vlogs. Like, I'm throwing in some videos about, the lenses I use, the camera, just footage. There's a video on there right now, just footage of, like, nature and different things. It's kind of relaxing, like a funny vlog, or I went hunting for the first time. And then eventually there'll be, like, more film reviews, more short films, sketch comedy.
Lots of links in the description for this one.
Links in the description below.
Yeah, give his channel a like.
Check out the Patreon. We've already thrown Patreon in there.
Yeah, we were disastrously annoying with that this time, let me tell you. But yeah, and then my channel, I don't have any content for it yet, but if you feel like giving a subscription to an empty channel, go for it. Content coming soon once I can get a freaking webcam.
Like this channel too.
Yeah.
And subscribe to this channel.
Definitely, especially this channel, yeah.
If they don't like us, what are they going to do?
Tell us to fuck.